good morning everyone. It is good to see all of you again in this video. So from the previous video, you already learned the basic foundation of present perfect. And those basic, we are talking about the concept of those 10, and we look at the form and we compare those two to the past simple. Alright, and in this video you are going to study the time expression that mostly appear in the present perfect. So when you use the present perfect, those 10 are there. Oh sorry, when you use the present perfect, those expressions are there, right? And moreover, you are going to learn a new tense, which is present perfect progressive. Some grammar book call it present perfect continuous, and we will look at those two form and usage. Everyone, now let's start our lesson. Here I have the review, and I'm not going to talk in detail about this, but just to remind all of you the simple usage of the present perfects, everyone. So let's look at the time. So when we use present perfect, we use this to talk about the unspecific time in the past, which means some situation that happened in the past, but we don't know when. That is why some people think that this present perfect they used to talk about experience, right? Because they mainly focus on the situation rather than the time. And the second one is the continue. What's continue? Alright, present perfect, we used to talk about a situation that happened in the past, but it didn't end in the past. It still continues to happen up until the present. And if it happened up until the present, there will be an influence to the present. Do you remember the example that I gave you in the previous video? I have taught English for 3 years, everyone. So the influence of I have taught English for 3 years, that you can see right now I am a teacher. And the other case that you can use present perfect, we used to talk about something that just happened. It just happened a few minutes or 5 minutes ago, so you use present perfect. Very good, everyone. And do you remember the form? I have a short sentence here. I have done. So you know the word I is subject. We have the word have. Have here is auxiliary verb, and we have the word done. Very good. So you remember the form already, which means subject plus auxiliary verb have has, and the plus verb past participle, which is verb 3. Now everyone, let's look at some of the expression that are mostly used in present perfect tense. Let's start with the word ever. So mostly it appears in question form, and they want to talk about at any time. It is not specific time when we use ever. For example, when someone asks you, have you ever been to Australia? So have you ever been to Australia? They don't want to know when or what time, but they just want to know that your experience. Have you ever been there before? So ever here we used to talk about at any time, mostly in question. And never, everyone. So never mean not ever. Mean you never, mean you have never, or you not ever do anything. For example, in the previously, have you ever been to Australia? And the question is, this is the question, and the answer is, I have never been to Australia, which is mean not ever. Okay, that's from my childhood up until now, I have never been to Australia. Next one, the word yet. So yet here, which means by now or then. And mostly the word yet they use in a negative sentence. Let me give you an example. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. Okay, so which means right now, in the past, and now. up until now I have not eaten breakfast yet. Okay, so the word yet here means by now or then. Next, the word since and for. So the word since here is used with a specific time, but it's different from the word for. Let me give you an example. I learned English since I was a child. Okay, I've learned English since I was a child. So the word since here we talk about the time that is specific, which means I was a child. And for the word for, I have learned English for 20 years. So it is about the duration, the whole time, the past up until now, which means for 20 years. It is the duration. Okay, and this is the most appear expression in present perfect. You will need to practice this exercise in your books after you watch this video. But now everyone, let's move on to the next point, which is about present perfect progressive. It is simple. If you understand the word present perfect already, the concept of present perfect, you will easily understand the concept of present perfect continuous or present perfect progressive here. And the form is a little bit different. We have I have been doing something. So I here is a subject, have here is auxiliary verb, which means have or has. Been is a verb 3, which means past participle of the verb be. Okay, so remember everyone, if we talk about the continuous activity, there is always be in that sentence. Okay, and then we have the word verb plus ing doing here. So let me write down the form. We have subject plus have, or we can use has based on the subject, plus been plus verb ing. Okay, good. And I don't need to change this into negative or question because it is the same as the present perfect simple. Okay, how can you know when to use present perfect progressive? Sometimes present perfect and present perfect progressive have no difference at all. You can use interchangeable. In some context, you can use present perfect simple and present perfect continuous without any problem. But in some specific situation, you need to consider using present perfect progressive. And when we use this tense, okay, when we talk about the situation that happened in the past, it continues up until the present. And in the present moment, you can see that situation is happening when you are speaking. For example, let's say I have been teaching online for a month now. Okay, so it means my activity of teaching happens a month ago and is continue up until now. And right now, when I am talking, I am teaching in front of all of you. In this situation, we need to use present perfect progressive. Again, the example, I have been teaching online for a month now. Okay, everyone, you get the idea of when to use present perfect progressive. Let me clarify that again. We use present perfect progressive to talk about action that happens in the past and continue up until the present, and that situation is happening when I am speaking. Okay, so you get the idea of present perfect progressive. It is similar to the present perfect simple, but the difference is that present perfect progressive, you can see the situation is happening in front of you when you are speaking. Okay, good everyone. Now on the whiteboard, I have some exercise for you, and this exercise are on page 21 of your book. Now everyone, I hope you have book with you, so open your books to page 21. On page 21 you can see there are three exercises there. We start from exercise number 3, number 4 and exercise number 5. And I will put the page on the screen so that you can know where to start the exercise, okay? But make sure you have book with you so that you can do exercise together. Everyone, before continuing to watch this video, I hope you do all the exercise, which is exercise number 3 and number 4. When you finish doing this exercise, we will check the answer together. Now everyone, let's start doing this exercise and spend around 5 or 6 minutes to do those exercise, okay? So let's start now. I think now you have answer. Let's check the answer all together, everyone. Do you want to check the answer with me? Okay, now let's start. Exercise number 3. We start from exercise number 3 here. So exercise number 3, complete the sentences using the given word. Use the present perfect or present perfect progressive. Let's start with number 1. We have the word sit here all afternoon, but I not see any strange people. Everyone, so can you decide when to use present perfect simple and when to use present perfect continuous or present perfect progressive here in this situation? Very good. So this situation here, we have 2 separate sentences. So the first sentence, I sit here all afternoon, which means this situation happened in the past and continue up until that afternoon, and the person who is speaking still sitting there. So you can use the word so you can use present perfect progressive in this situation. So how can we change this into present perfect progressive? Okay, I have been sitting here all afternoon, but I have not seen any strange people. Good. Number 2, a lot of people, we have the verb wait in line all morning to buy a ticket, but nobody, we have the verb complain about it. Okay, so look at the situation. We have 2 different sentences and you need to analyze the situation here. So here, a lot of people in the line all morning to buy the ticket. Are they still there? Sure, they are still there in the situation. But how long have they been waiting? For the whole morning already, right? And they are still waiting. So here, the situation, you need to use present perfect progressive. So you need to, a lot of people have been waiting in line all morning to buy a ticket, but nobody has complained about it. Very good. Okay, let's look at number 3. We have the verb clean the park for an hour, but they not finished cleaning it yet. So in this situation, everyone, the activity of cleaning happened for an hour already, and now it is not finished. You can see people, they are still cleaning. So here we need to use present perfect progressive. So the answer is they have been cleaning the park for an hour, but they have not finished cleaning it yet. Very good. Let's go to number 4. Number 4, the people, we have the word search the island for hours to get some food, but they not find anything yet. Okay, the same situation here applies to number 4, the same as number 3. So here the answer is the people have been searching the island for hours to get some food. Now they are still searching, but they have not found anything yet. Number 5, the police chased the robber for 30 minutes, but they not catch them yet. So the situation here, the police are trying to catch the robber, and it take 30 minutes now, but still the police cannot catch the robber. So the situation happened in the past, and now it has been 30 minutes, and it's still happen. So the police has been chasing the robber for 30 minutes, but they have not caught them yet. Very good, everyone. And if some verb are irregular verb, which means they need to change from present tense to past tense to perfect tense, and if you don't know how to change that, everyone, you can look up in the dictionary or you can check online. So there's a lot of word lists that help you to change from past simple into verb 3. Okay, now everyone, we finish exercise number 3. Let's move on to exercise number 4. So exercise number 4, you can see on the screen here, is the same as in your book. So exercise number 4, fill in the blank with sin or for. So remember, everyone, the expression that mostly used, we have sin and for. So sin we use with a specific time, and for we talk about a whole duration. So now let's start. Number 1, she has been looking for his cat since 2 hours. No, so 2 hours is the duration. So the correct answer is he has been looking for his cat for 2 hours. Number 2, she has lived in this town. So we have 1987. So it is the year. Is it a duration? No, it is a time. It's a specific time. So she has lived in this town since 1987, and now she is still living in that town. Good. Number 3, they have known each other 10 years. So 10 years is a duration for 10 years. You need to use the word for. They have known each other for 10 years. Number 4, I have been waiting for the bus since 9 o'clock. Number 5 is the last one. We have not seen him since last week. Very good, everyone. So this is the end of the lesson. But everyone, here we have exercise number 5. So exercise number 5 is your homework that you need to do. You need to practice what you have learned. So this exercise number 5, what they wanted you to do. So answer the questions in 2 ways, in simple past and in present perfect. They have an example for you to see. So the example is, did you finish your homework? So this is the question, and you need to answer in 2 ways. Yes, I finished it an hour ago. You need to use past simple. Remember, everyone, if you use past simple, please specify the time. Make sure you give the specific time. But if you use present perfect, which means you have just finished it a few minutes ago, so it means it just happened. Okay, so now everyone, don't forget to do this, and when you finish doing this exercise, take a picture and send your answer to our online study group for your homeroom teacher to check. And remember, everyone, there are a lot of more exercise in your workbook to practice. And if you have any problem, some point that you don't understand, ask your homeroom teacher. It's the first choice. And more things, you can find a lot of information on the internet. There's a lot of video, there's a lot of document. It will help you a lot to understand the lesson. But now it is the end of our video lesson, and I hope to see all of you again in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.